Welcome. Welcome tonight. Our assignment is clear and our mission is unchanged. We transform followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. If you came for motivation, you may be disappointed. If you came for legislation, you are in the right courtroom. This is not a pep rally. This is parliament for your destiny. We are passing a bill into your behavior. Write this down and tweet it to somebody right now. Hashtag law of courage. Courage is a law you obey, not a mood you wait for. Say it out loud so your ears can hear your future speaking. Courage isn't a feeling. Courage is obedience. What did I say? Say it again. If you wait for a feeling, you will miss your season. If you obey a law, you will master your season. Joshua 1-9 does not read, have I not suggested? It says, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. A command is legal. Feelings are seasonal. You don't break laws. Laws break you. Oh dear. I guess I'm talking to myself. Are you hearing me? Write this down. Success is not a pursuit. Success is the result of obedience to laws. Joshua 1-8 gives you the legislation. This book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. Then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Reverse the verse. Neglect the law, lose the success. It's predictable. Courage, therefore, is not adrenaline in your veins. It is alignment in your steps. In other words, you move because you were commanded, not because you were comfortable. Let me give you a simple picture. Gravity is a law. You don't jump off a building waiting to feel like falling. Laws don't ask your permission. They demand your participation. Likewise, when God gives an assignment, He legislates your motion. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1-7. Fear is a mood. Power is a mandate. Write that down. Tonight, we are going to codify the law that separates you from the pack. Not hype habits. Not goosebumps governance. I will show you how obedience, practiced predictably, produces influence inevitably. But first, stand up in your spirit and declare with me one more time. Courage isn't a feeling. Courage is obedience. Look at your day. Look at your assignment and announce to your tomorrow, I am a law keeper, not a crowd pleaser. Now, let's legislate your next step. Now let's deal with the stubborn guest called fear. Write this down. Fear is a feeling. Laws are fixed. Gravity doesn't check your mood before it pulls you. It works whether you feel brave or not. In other words, feelings are weather, laws are climate. The weather shifts every hour, but the climate governs the ecosystem. So hear me, your assignment is governed by law, not by the passing clouds of emotion. What did I say? You move because a law commands, not because a feeling cooperates. Some of you have been waiting for butterflies to stop flying in your stomach before you move. Stop negotiating with biology. Sweaty palms are not a prophecy, they are chemistry. Your heart rate is not a revelation, it is adrenaline. That's your body saying, we're doing something meaningful. Write this down. You don't need less fear. You need more obedience. The command is clear. Your chemistry will catch up. If you wait for your flesh to agree with your future, you will die in the wilderness of indecision. 2 Timothy 1-7 declares, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. If fear is not from God, why are you letting a foreign spirit manage a divine itinerary? Don't manage your life by borrowed spirits. In other words, evict the squatter from the driver's seat. Fear can ride in the car, but it does not get the keys. Say it out loud. Fear, you can sit in the back. The law is driving. Let me help you with a picture. The law of lift doesn't cancel the law of gravity, it overrides it. The plane still feels gravity tugging at every rivet, but a higher law carries it. Likewise, the law of your assignment overrides the pull of fear. You may still feel the tug. Good. That means you're airborne. Successful people don't wait for silence in their nerves. They tune their ears to the command. Tweet that to somebody right now. Your nerves are not your navigator. Write this down and circle it twice. Feelings inform. Laws decide. The thermostat sets the climate. The thermometer only reports it. Be a thermostat believer. Set your life by the book of the law, not by the book of your moods. Lift your voice and repeat after me. I act on instruction, not on impulse. I move on command, not on comfort. I obey even when I tremble, and the trembling soon obeys me. You don't break laws. Laws break you. So honor the law, and fear loses its jurisdiction. Now let's define what we've been feeling tug at our spirits. Write this down. This is the law itself. The law of courage is consistent obedience to your divine assignment in the presence of fear. Not after fear leaves. Not when the butterflies retire. In the presence of fear. Obedience is the constant. Emotion is the variable. What did I say? Say it back to me. This law has a source, a scope, and a consequence. The source is not your personality. It is the book of the law. Joshua 1-8 declares, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Meditate and do, then you make your way. In other words, the engine is obedience. The fuel is the word. The vehicle is your assignment. The destination is predictable success. Reverse the verse. Please write this down. If the book of the law departs from your mouth, if you refuse to meditate, if you refuse to do, then you will predictably mismanage your way and forfeit good success. Laws make life predictable. Tweet that to somebody right now. You don't break laws, laws break you. God did not say, feel courageous and you will prosper. He said, do this law and you will prosper. That means even when your knees are in fellowship, knocking together, your hands can still obey. A trembling hand can still sign a contract. A quivering voice can still say, yes, Lord. The law doesn't ask your nerves for permission. Let's talk scope, because some of you think spirituality is confined to a sanctuary. The law is no respecter of departments. It functions in boardrooms and classrooms, in pulpits and kitchens, in studios and construction sites, in hospital wards and government halls. A chef who obeys the law of his assignment will produce predictable excellence on a plate. A CEO who obeys the law of her assignment will make her way prosperous in the marketplace. A student who meditates and does will outlast talent that only crams and craves applause. A mother who orders her home by principle, not by panic, will create an ecosystem of peace. God is no respecter of persons. Laws are no respecter of departments. And here is the consequence. Hear me well. Obedience to assignment activates predictable success even when fear is present. Consistency under command separates you from the crowd that waits for comfort. Influence follows the one who keeps the law daily while others negotiate weekly. Success is not what you chase. It is what you attract by alignment. Write this down and say it like legislation. I will meditate, I will do, and I will make my way. Courage is my compliance with heaven's constitution. Fear can watch, but obedience will work. Now let's bring contrarian clarity, because some of you have been handcuffed by customs. Write this down. Laws are universal and eternal. Rules are cultural and temporary. Laws are embedded by the Creator into creation. Rules are invented by creatures to manage their comfort. You don't break laws, laws break you. But hear me, successful people break rules for the sake of the law. What did I say? Say it out loud back to me. Tweet that to somebody right now. Hashtag higher law. Jesus modeled this with surgical precision. In Matthew 15:3, he asks, why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? In other words, you are so loyal to your church bulletin that you violated heaven's constitution. He healed on the Sabbath not to destroy the law, but to fulfill it, because love is the fulfillment of the law. He said, do not think that I came to abolish the law. I came to fulfill Matthew 5:17. Tradition said, don't touch. The higher law said, make whole. Courage honors the higher law when rules try to silence mercy. History agrees. The rules once said, sit in the back. The higher law said, all men are created in the image of God. The rule said, drink from this fountain. The higher law said, there is no Jew nor Greek in Christ. Rule said, sit. The law said, Stand. Courage is not rude. Courage is lawful. It is fidelity to the Supreme Court of heaven when the lower courts of culture are corrupt. Write that down. Courage is allegiance to a higher court. Application. Because this must leave the sanctuary with you. In some workplaces, the unspoken rule is keep your head down. Don't outshine the average. Don't bring new ideas. Wait your turn. That's a rule. The law says solve problems with your gift. Serve with excellence. Multiply the talent. Speak the truth in love. Don't sin. Do not lie. Do not steal. Do not slander. But do not let timid rules mute a lawful assignment. If the policy says hide your brilliance, respectfully present the solution, build a prototype after hours, deliver results that serve people. When told we don't do it that way, answer with Acts 5, 29 inches your spirit. We must obey God rather than men. In other words, honor integrity, honor authority, but never trade purpose for permission slips. Lift your voice and legislate your life. I honor principles, not preferences. I keep commandments, not customs. I obey assignment over approval. Say it again. Successful people break rules for the sake of the law. Courage separates you from the pack by honoring higher law over lower rules. And influence follows the one who stands when lesser rules say, sit. Write this down. Identity precedes behavior. Say it out loud so your decisions can hear you. You don't behave your way into identity. You identify your way into behavior. The pack is a people governed by feelings, trends, and traditions. What's hot on Monday, what's viral on Tuesday, and what grandma did on Wednesday, even if it never worked. The pack waits for consensus. The different one waits for command. Tweet that to somebody right now. I don't wait for consensus. I move on command. Listen carefully. When Jesus stood up in a storm and legislated the weather, the disciples cried, "What manner of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Mark 4:41. That's separation language. What manner of person are you? Are you the kind who moves when others muse? Who acts while others ask for permission? Who obeys law when rules get nervous? As many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God, Romans 8:14. Sons are led, crowds are pushed. Write this down. You become the different one the moment you identify as a lawkeeper, not a crowd pleaser. Let me give you a picture. A fish flourishes in water. It is built for that environment. You flourish in your assignment. You are built for that instruction. A fish can have ambition, passion, and Instagram followers. But if it jumps out of water to impress the birds, it dies by applause. In other words, the issue is not your hype. It is your habitat. Leave your assignment and you suffocate slowly, politely, religiously, but predictably. You don't break laws. Laws break you. So what manner of person are you? Answer. I am a citizen of purpose, a keeper of law, a servant of assignment. Courage, then, is not a personality type. Stop hiding behind temperament tests. Courage is identity under law. If you are a lawkeeper, you will behave like one. Meditate, act, repeat, whether your voice shakes or not. If you are a crowd pleaser, you will behave like one stall, pull, apologize, whether your gift is screaming or not. You are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. 1 Peter 2-9. Royalty doesn't ask the weather for permission to rain. Write this down and say it back to me. My name is lawkeeper. My nature is obedience. My normal is assignment. I move when he speaks. I stand when rules squeak. I flourish in my water. What manner of person am I? The different one, because my identity is legislated, not negotiated. If identity precedes behavior, then measurement must precede celebration. Write this down. Success is what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do, not compared to what they did, not compared to what the algorithm rewarded, compared to what heaven assigned. Jeremiah 29:11 is not a Hallmark card. It is a metric. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. Plans to prosper you, to give you a future and a hope. If he knows the plans, then his plans define the measure. What did I say? His plans define the measure. Your courage score is how fully you obeyed your assignment, not how loudly others cheered. Let me give you a story to tattoo on your mind. Imagine a classroom with 100 questions on the wall. But the teacher hands each student a sealed envelope with their assignment inside. You open yours, and there are 48 questions. If you finish your 48 with excellence, your score is 100 for your assignment. Your neighbor answered 90 of their 100 and got applauded. That's still a 90 for theirs. Law grades by purpose. Write that down. Even a 48 can be 100 if 48 is your assignment. Stop taking exams God never gave you. Tweet this to somebody right now. Courage is obedience to purpose under pressure. Comparison is the thief of courage because it imports another person's law into your lane. Others' lanes are their law. Misalignment produces torment. That's why some of you feel harassed doing good things. They are not your things. A seed is tormented on tile, not because tile is evil, but because tile is not its environment. Paul never said, I beat Peter's record. He said, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. 2 Timothy 4:7. Jesus prayed, I have finished the work you gave me to do. John 17:4. The measure was assignment, not applause. Say this out loud. My peace is in my portion. My grace is in my lane. Now here's how you measure courage daily. Ask, what did heaven assign me today? Then mark it. Did I do it fully, timely, and lawfully? If yes, you scored high in courage, even if your voice shook and nobody clapped. If no, then a stadium of cheers can't hide a failing grade. Write this down and circle it twice. Applause measures entertainment. Obedience measures destiny. You don't break laws. Laws break you. So let the law of your purpose grade your courage. Lift your voice. I refuse to live by borrowed metrics. I measure by assignment. I obey under pressure. I finish my portion. And because I measure by purpose, my courage produces predictable success and visible influence on time, every time. Now that you've got the metric, let's build the machine. Write this down. This is the obedience equation that operationalizes courage. Action equals law, clarity times purpose, conviction times immediate step divided by emotional resistance. Say it back to me. Clarity, conviction, immediate step over resistance. In other words, if you want more action, increase clarity, increase conviction, shorten the time to act, and stop feeding your feelings. First variable law, clarity. Vague orders don't get obeyed. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain, that he may run who reads it. If it's not plain, you won't run. Define the command in a single sentence, present tense, starting with a verb. Call Mr. Davis and offer the solution. Write page 1 before 9 a.m. Send the proposal to the board today. Not work on it, not think about it, but a one-sentence law. James 1:22 commands, be doers of the word and not hearers only. Doers need precise do's. Write this down. Clarity compresses confusion and accelerates compliance. Second variable, purpose, conviction. Why must this be done? Anchor the command to assignment. Say out loud, this step fulfills my portion. This cause solves a visible problem. This draft serves my generation. Nehemiah said, I am doing a great work so that I cannot come down. Nehemiah 6:3. Conviction is the cement that holds your feet to the path when winds whisper excuses. Increase conviction by stating your why before you start. Third variable, immediate step. Here's a law. Feelings organize protest when you hesitate. Practice the 3-second rule. Decide and move before emotion holds a meeting. Stand up, dial the number, press send, step onto the treadmill, open the document within 3 seconds. Mary said at Cana, whatever he says to you, do it. John 2:5. The disciples immediately left their nets. Mark 1:18. Tweet that to somebody right now. Obedience loses power when it waits. Now divide resistance by shrinking the obedience. Micro acts break the back of big fears. Send the email, schedule a 10-minute meeting, record a 60-second video, write a 1-paragraph summary, draft 1 slide, research for 8 minutes, set a $20 seed toward the budget. Small lawful acts compound into uncommon influence. Write that down and tweet it. Make courage measurable. Daily scorecard. 1. Did I define the command in one sentence? 2. Did I act within 3 seconds? 3. Did I shrink the step to a micro act? 4. Did I repeat the sequence today? If you hit all 4, you obeyed courage. If you missed one, adjust and run it again. Say it with me. I clarify, I act fast, I act small, I repeat daily. You don't break laws. Laws break you, so keep this law until influence chases you down. Let me walk you into a boat. Luke 5 paints it plain. It's morning after a night shift. Wrong time to fish. The professionals already clocked out. The water is clear and shallow by shore. Wrong depth. They've been casting the same side all night. Wrong side. Nets are empty. Backs are sore. Data says no. Then Jesus steps into Simon's boat, borrows his platform, and after teaching, he legislates a command. Launch out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch. Luke 5-4. Write this down. Outcomes change when instruction outranks conditions. Peter is honest. I like honest leaders. Master, we have toiled all the night and caught nothing. Nevertheless, at your word, I will let down the net. Luke 5-5. Please circle that word, nevertheless. That is the hinge of destiny. In other words, we have expertise, we have evidence, we have exhaustion, but we also have a word. What did I say? Say it out loud. Nevertheless, at your word. Write this down. The issue that day was not fish, it was obedience. Fish follow laws. Boats obey instructions. Success is predictable when law is honored. You don't break laws, laws break you. Here's the tension you must resolve. Expertise versus law. Expertise is valuable. It built the boat, cleaned the nets, mapped the currents. But expertise sets limits. Law sets outcomes. Experience, reports, conditions, instruction determines direction. Data describes, the command decides. Tweet that to somebody right now. The carpenter gave a fishing order not because he disrespected skill, but because he authored the sea. When the Creator speaks, creation complies. Courage is when you let the Creator's command outrank the creature's conclusions. And what happened next? Scripture says, they enclosed a great multitude of fish, and their net began to break. They signaled to their partners, and they came and filled both boats, so that they began to sink. Luke 5-7. Did you catch the separation? All night they blended with empty-handed fishermen. One instruction, obeyed against data, produced a visible difference. Net straining, boats sinking with blessing, partners summoned. Influence follows obedience. Even your partners have to adjust their schedules to your results. Peter fell at Jesus' knees, overwhelmed, and Jesus re-legislated his identity. Fear not, from now on you will catch men. Luke 5:10. Obedience in the small craft graduated him into his greater calling. In other words, today's nevertheless unlocks tomorrow's assignment. Application, because this law must enter your Monday. Some of you have spreadsheets that say not now. Market research says wait. Your calendar says too late. The inbox says no response. Write this down. Obey the next instruction even when data disagrees. Make the call at the wrong hour if the command is clear. Present the solution in the wrong season if the law says now. Send the proposal when your metrics predict silence nevertheless at his word. Launch into the deep place where you failed last night, but do it with a fresh instruction and a fast step. Remember the obedience equation. Clarify the command. Anchor your why. Act within 3 seconds. Say it out loud so your fear can hear you. I am not governed by conditions. I am governed by command. I will let down my net where he says, when he says, how he says. And when my net's strain and my boat sinks with blessing, I'll know it wasn't luck, it was law. Before we design your scorecard, let's remove the landmines. Write this down and tweet it to somebody right now. Hashtag lawful antidote. Every courage blocker has a lawful counter you can practice on demand. Not someday on demand. 4 enemies, 4 antidotes. Enemy number 1, feelings. Antidote, principles. Feelings are weather. Principles are statutes. Weather changes. Statutes govern. Daniel purposed in his heart not to defile himself. Daniel 1-8. That's pre-decision by principle. You don't need a new mood. You need a non-negotiable. Decide your obedience before your emotions wake up. Schedule the call. Press send within 3 seconds. Honor the law when your stomach flips. God has not given us the spirit of fear. 2 Timothy 1-7. In other words, stop renting your decisions to a tenant God didn't approve. Say it, I act by principle, not by preference. You don't break laws, laws break you. Enemy number 2, tradition. Antidote, truth. Jesus said, do not think that I came to abolish the law. Whoever practices and teaches these commands will be called great. Matthew 5:17-19. Greatness is tied to practicing truth, not preserving customs, family rules, office politics, religious routines. If they silence assignment, they are illegal against the higher court of truth. Why do you break the commandment of God for the sake of your tradition? Matthew 15:3. What did I say? Break rules when they block the law. Heal on the Sabbath. Serve people when programs say sit. Tweet that now. Truth outranks tradition. Enemy number 3, comparison. Antidote, purpose. Success is what you've done compared to what you were supposed to do. Paul said, I have finished my course. 2 Timothy 4-7. Jesus prayed, I have finished the work you gave me to do. John 17-4. That's the metric. A 48 can be 100 if 48 is your assignment. Comparison imports a foreign curriculum and fails you for brilliance in the wrong class. Say it out loud. My courage is measured by obedience to my assignment, not by applause for theirs. Enemy number 4, convenience. Antidote, perseverance. Write this down. Shortcuts are the longest way to success. Laws reward process, not panic. Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Galatians 6-9. Seed needs soil and seasons. You cannot microwave mangoes. Persist with micro acts, 10 minutes daily beats, 2 hours someday. Put perseverance on your calendar. Same time, same place, same step. Repeat. Consistency is courage wearing work clothes. Lift your voice and legislate your life. I replace excuses with laws. I choose principles over feelings, truth over tradition, purpose over comparison, perseverance over convenience. What did I say? Say it again until your nerves obey. When enemies rise, deploy the antidote on demand. That is how lawful obedience separates you predictably, and influence will have no choice but to follow your results. Write this down, tweet it to somebody right now. The 10 P's. Turn occasional bravery into a lifestyle of lawful obedience. What did I say? Say it back to me. This is your daily law-keeping system. Not someday, not when you feel like it, daily. Laws reward rhythm. Purpose first. Begin each day by naming the assignment in one sentence. Today I will. Present tense, verb first. Jeremiah 29-11 says, God knows the plans. So ask for the plan and write the line. Until purpose is named, energy is wasted. Say it. I move by purpose, not by pressure. Perception next. See fear as a signal, not a stop sign. Fear reports significance. It does not decide direction. Remember 2 Timothy 1-7. God did not give you that spirit. In other words, when fear blinks, law blazes. Write this down. Feelings inform, laws decide. Potential. Assumed capacity is larger than comfort. Ephesians 3:20. Exceeding abundantly above, according to the power working in you. Comfort is a couch. Potential is a country. Expand your boundaries daily. One stretch, one call, one paragraph beyond easy. Tweet that. Comfort is a couch. Potential is a country. Passion. Stoke the why until it burns hotter than worry. Jeremiah said his word was like fire shut up in my bones. Jeremiah 20-9. Fuel the flame. Review testimonies. Visualize solved problems. Declare your impact out loud. Passion is heat that boils procrastination. Principles. Codify your non-negotiables. Daniel purpose in his heart. Daniel 1-8. Decide before the day decides you. Integrity, non-negotiable. Excellence, non-negotiable. Punctuality, non-negotiable. 3-second obedience, non-negotiable. You don't break laws. Laws break you, so write your statutes. Planning. Schedule obedience in calendar blocks. Habakkuk 2:2, make it plain so you can run. Put the command in a time slot with a trigger. 8 a.m., phone on airplane mode, draft the proposal, 25 minutes. Proverbs 21:5, the plans of the diligent lead to plenty. Randomness is rebellion against rhythm. People, sit with the courageous. Courage is contagious. He that walks with wise men shall be wise. Proverbs 13:20. Audit your circle. Replace chronic doubters with disciplined doers. Upgrade chatter to challenges. Add one mentor voice that speaks law, not hype. Crowds entertain. Companions calibrate. Persistence. Do it again tomorrow. Same law, same time, same step. Consistency compounds influence. Galatians 6:9 promise a due season to repeaters, not to reactors. Write this down. Daily obedience outperforms seasonal inspiration. Perseverance. Do it when it hurts. James 1:4. Let patience have her perfect work. Pain is not a prophecy. It's resistance being evicted. Keep moving. Shortcuts are the longest way to success. Endurance is the legal route to results. Prayer. This is fuel and alignment. In prayer, you discover laws, not just relief. Joshua 1-8 says, keep the book in your mouth. Mark 1:35 shows Jesus withdrawing to a line before he advanced. Pray the assignment. Pray the timing. Pray the names you must serve. Pray the law into your language. The secret of the Lord is with those who fear him. Psalm 25-14. Secrets become systems in his presence. Lift your voice and legislate your day. Purpose, I name it. Perception, I reinterpret fear. Potential, I stretch. Passion, I ignite. Principles, I codify. Planning, I schedule. People, I select. Persistence, I repeat. Perseverance, I endure. Prayer, I align. What did I say? Say it again until your calendar obeys. Run the 10 P's and watch courage shift from a moment to a lifestyle, from goosebumps to governance. Influence won't be a prayer request. It will be a predictable byproduct of lawful obedience. Write this down. What you measure, you multiply. Success is predictable because obedience is countable. Courage is not a butterfly in your stomach. It is a number on your page. Make obedience visible. Build a simple scorecard you can fill before you sleep. No poetry. Just proof. Say it out loud. I track obedience, not adrenaline. Metric number 1, daily acts of obedience. Count them. A lawful act is any concrete step aligned with your assignment. Dialed the call, sent the proposal, wrote the page, scheduled the meeting, recorded the minute, drafted the slide, prayed the names, served the person. Not thought about it, not researched the feeling, but a measurable move. Set a daily target, 3 to 5 acts minimum. Check the box and tally the total. Tweet this to somebody right now. Frequency beats intensity. Small obediences stack into great influence. Metric number 2, discomfort delta. Rate your fear or resistance before and after the act from 1 to 10. Before, 8. After 4, delta, 4, point drop. That reduction is evidence that law is disciplining your nervous system. Even if it only drops from 9 to 8. Celebrate movement. Why? Because feelings don't govern laws. Laws govern feelings over time. Say it back to me. I move first. My mood follows later. Metric number 3. Rule broken to keep a higher law. Noted daily. Did you respectfully present a solution when the unspoken office rule said, stay average? Did you tell the truth when the crowd wanted a script? Did you propose excellence when tradition said, we don't do it that way? Document it in one sentence and name the higher law you honored. Service, integrity, stewardship, love. Successful people break rules for the sake of the law. Write it down. Metric number 4, problem solve with your gift. Record outcomes, not vibes. Who was served? What problem was removed? What email thanked you? What number moved? What relief appeared? Influence is earned by solving visible problems. Track the evidence. By their fruits you shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Fruits are outcomes. Now reverse the verse. Joshua 1-8. If the book of the law departs from your mouth, if you don't meditate, if you don't do, then you will not make your way prosperous and you will not have good success. Tweet that to somebody. No meditate plus no do equals no success. You don't break laws, laws break you. So put meditation and doing on the scorecard too. Minutes in the Word. Instruction extracted. Action executed. Finally, a weekly review. Celebrate execution, not emotion. Take 30 minutes. Total your acts. Average your deltas. List your lawful rule breaks and count your solved problems. Raise next week's targets by 1. Adjust the system that underperformed. What did I say? Celebrate execution, not emotion. Lift your voice. I measure by laws. I multiply obedience, and influence will have no choice but to follow my results. Now we execute. Write this down and say it back to me. Courage compounds when you execute small, scheduled obediences within 72 hours. What did I say? Say it again. Start before you're ready. Readiness is a reward of movement, not a requirement. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts, Hebrews 3:15. In other words, delayed obedience is disobedience to the clock of destiny. Hour 0 right now, pen in hand, write your assignment sentence in 1 line, present tense, verb first. Call Miss Rivera and propose the solution. Draft page 1 before 9 a.m. Schedule the client demo, Habakkuk 2:2. Make it plain so you can run. Then write 1 non-negotiable principle that will govern this assignment. Truth over spin, excellence over speed, people over popularity. Daniel, purpose in his heart. Daniel 1-8. Purpose and principle. This is your legal foundation. Day 1, schedule 3. Micro acts that move the assignment forward, not someday today, with times and triggers. 8 a.m. Phone on airplane mode. Outline 5 bullets. 1:15 p.m. Send the introductory email. 4:30 p.m. Record a 60-second prototype video. Proverbs 21:5 says, the plans of the diligent lead to plenty. Tweet that to somebody right now. Frequency beats intensity. Small obediences stack. Day 2, make a public declaration. Say it out loud to a person who will hold you to it. Ecclesiastes 4-9, 2 are better than 1. A threefold cord is not quickly broken. Tell your law partner the what, the when, and the next micro act. Send them your assignment sentence and the 3 scheduled steps. Give them permission to ask, did you obey? You don't need a cheerleader, you need a witness. Day 3, tackle the scariest single step first, before messages and meals. Ephesians 5:16, redeem the time. Fear is loudest in the morning. Silence it with a first fruits act. Put the dragon on the breakfast plate. 3-second rule, decide and move before emotion holds a meeting. Immediately, they left their nets. Mark 1:18. What did I say? Immediately. Install a pre-mortem today. Name the 3 likely fears or failures and write their lawful counters. If rejection appears, I will dial the next number within 3 minutes. If perfectionism protests, I will ship version 1 by 10 a.m. If distractions knock, I will lock a 5-minute focus block. No weapon formed shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The weapon may form, but it will not flourish against a prepared law keeper. Add your law partner officially. Exchange calendars. Set check-ins. Agree on questions. Was the command clear? Did you act within 3 seconds? Did you keep the principle under pressure? James 1:22. Be doers, not hearers only. Finally, reward integrity, not outcomes. Attach a small celebration to kept laws, a walk, a good coffee, a victory text, 5 minutes of Thanksgiving prayer. Matthew 25-21. Well done, good and faithful servant. Not well felt, well done. Tweet this now. I reward obedience, not adrenaline. You don't break laws, laws break you. So start before you're ready, move within 72 hours, and watch courage compound into visible influence. Influence is not a prayer request. It is a response to results. Write this down. Success gives you influence. Influence is when others change their priorities for yours. What did I say? Say it out loud. When you obey consistently, people rearrange their calendars, budgets, and attention to access your solution. That's what happened on the lake. Partners dropped what they were doing and paddled over because obedience created overflow. Influence follows boats that carry results. Your gift plus obedience equals problem solved in public view. Proverbs 18:16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. Gifts make room when they are exercised, not admired. Matthew 5:16 commands, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Not see your height, see your works. In other words, celebrate becomes celebrity when your obedience solves visible pain consistently. By their fruits you shall know them. Matthew 7:20. Fruit is a solved problem someone else can eat. James 2:17 says, faith without works is dead. Dead faith cannot feed a hungry world. Tweet that to somebody right now. Visible solutions create visible influence. Look at athletes. This is a law class in motion. LeBron doesn't train because he feels like it. He trains because he honors laws of excellence, repetition, recovery, rhythm. Serena drills, serves when cameras were off. The law rewarded her with trophies when cameras were on. Results separate them from the league. Schedules flex around them. Networks court them. Contracts adjust to their performance. Influence is when other people change their priorities for yours. They didn't chase influence. They practice laws. You don't break laws. Laws break you, or they break your records for you. Application, publish solutions, not opinions. Let obedience be seen. Stop advertising promises and start shipping proofs. Post the before and after of the problem you solved this week. Release the one-page playbook you use to save a client money. Record a 60-second tutorial that removes confusion for 1,000 strangers. Offer the free clinic. Host the Q&A. Write the how-to that answers a real question with your real gift. Track the number of people served, the dollars saved, the minutes redeemed, the pain removed. That's light shining. That's fruit on branches. Tweet it. Proofs, not posts. Works, not words. What manner of person are you? Ask it out loud. I'll tell you who you are. The kind that solves problems on schedule. The kind that shows up when others slow up. The kind whose calendar is legislated by laws, not by moods. Do you see a man diligent in his work? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. Kings don't invite vibes. They summon value. Keep the protocol. Keep the principles. Keep solving public problems with private discipline, and influence will trail your footsteps like a shadow at noon. Say it with me. I solve problems by law, on schedule, in public view. I let my light be seen. I measure by fruit. I obey until influence has no choice but to follow my results. Your mouth is the steering wheel of your life. Write this down. Your feet follow your phrases. James says the tongue is the rudder that turns a whole ship. James 3-4-5. Joshua 1-8 doesn't say keep the book in your head. It says keep it in your mouth, then do it. In other words, rehearsed language reinforces lawful behavior until courage becomes your reflex. What did I say? Say it back to me. My mouth trains my feet. Morning stand before the mirror and start the law. Ask out loud, what did I say? Answer yourself with the Constitution. Courage isn't a feeling. Courage is obedience. Say it again until your shoulders obey. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118-24. Now legislate the path. I am a doer of the word today. James 1:22. The book of the law will not depart from my mouth. I will meditate, and I will do, and I will make my way prosperous. Joshua 1-8. Tweet that to somebody right now. Mouth, meditate, move. Pre-action ritual. Write this down. Name the law and keep it now. Before you dial, before you draft, speak the statute. I keep the law of truth over spin. I keep the law of diligence over delay. I keep the law of service over spotlight. Then state the command in one sentence, verb first. Send the proposal before 10 a.m. What did I say? Say it out loud so your legs can hear it. Romans 10-8 says the word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. Put it there on purpose. During fear, talk to the hand. Oh dear, I guess I'm talking to myself, so talk to the hand. Feelings, sit down. Law, stand up. 3-second rule. Decide and move before emotion holds a meeting. Declare the higher court. God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1-7. I speak to this mountain, be removed. Mark 11:23. In other words, you don't need a new mood, you need a new mouth. Put your faith on speakerphone until your feet comply. Post action, seated with language. Tweet this. I didn't feel ready. I felt responsible. Say it again. Responsibility is legal. Readiness is emotional. Thank God out loud for strength. Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Speak life over the next step. I obey again, faster, smaller today. Evening audit. Close the day with definitions. Success is predictable because laws are. Say it out loud. Success is what I did compared to what I was supposed to do. Review your scorecard verbally. Acts of obedience. Deltas down. Rules I broke to honor higher laws. Problem solved. Reverse the verse to keep you honest. No meditate plus no do equals no success. Then pray the law back to God. Teach me your statutes, Psalm 119:12. And coach tomorrow to place. At 8 a.m., I obey immediately. What did I say? Say it again until your calendar salutes. You don't break laws. Laws break you, or they break open doors for you. Train your mouth daily, and your feet will march into predictable influence. Now let's walk it out. Write this down. Keep the law. Break the rule when it blocks the law. What did I say? Say it back to me. Laws are eternal. Rules are temporary. Do not think I came to abolish the law, Jesus said. He came to fulfill it, Matthew 5:17. If a tradition suffocates your assignment, it is illegal against the higher court of truth. Heal on the Sabbath. Tell the truth when the script says smile. Serve excellence when average posts a sign that says, we don't do it like that here. Tweet this now. I honor law. I outgrow rules. Lift your head. Identity upgrade. You are not normal. You are the different one. A law keeper under assignment. A person whose calendar is governed by statutes, not by moods. What manner of person are you? Say it out loud. I am a doer of the word today. Success is what you do compared to what you were supposed to do. That's your brand. That's your separation. Kings are searching for you. Do you see a man diligent in his work? He shall stand before kings. Proverbs 22:29. Kings don't court feelings. They commission finishers. Now the charge before midnight. One act of obedience. Write it, say it, do it right now. Pen in hand. Verb first. One sentence. Send a proposal. Schedule the call. Submit the draft. Apologize and repair. What did I say? Say it back to me so your legs can hear it. Put it on the clock in the next hour and move within 3 seconds when the time strikes. Hebrews 3:15. Today, if you hear his voice, do not harden your hearts. Delayed obedience is illegal against destiny's timetable. Frequency beats intensity. Small obediences stack. Spiritual anchor. Pray for clarity and courage and read to discover laws, not just for devotions. Joshua 1-8. Keep the book in your mouth. Meditate day and night. Do what is written and you will make your way prosperous. Pray like David. Teach me your statutes. Psalm 119:12. Ask the Holy Spirit to highlight one governing principle for today's assignment. Then open the word to find the statute, put it in your mouth, and put your mouth on your calendar. I bless you now. I bless your ears to hear instruction swiftly, your heart to choose law over feelings, your tongue to legislate your day, your hands to perform with excellence, and your feet to move immediately. May Deuteronomy 28:1-2 pursue you, that as you diligently obey, blessings will overtake you. Go solve a visible problem with your gift. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father. Matthew 5:16. Walk out the law today. Leave with a decision and your first obedient step before midnight. You don't break laws. Laws break open doors for you. Now go and be found doing.